It's my connection through 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 the network connection through computer. One of the most famous one is port 80, and it's for HTTP. When I'm saying it's by convention. If you want to mess up with everybody, you can start to create a service, and it will be bind on port 80, and everybody will hate you because by definition, 80 is for HTTP server, not like your things that you are building. Um, Other famous ports are 21, which is for FTP, 22 is for SSL, um, and so on. So you have a lot of services that kind of are buying to different ports. Um, so what does it mean for you? It means that when you are running in production something, if it's like FTP server, you need to run it on the correct port, so 21. And I'm saying 21, I have a doubt. FTP port. 21, okay, cool. SMTP. SMTP stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. So it's 25, or one of those for the HTTPS, for the SSL one. Yeah, you need to kind of respect those things. So question is, let's say you are building a web server or you're building a server. How to find a port that is not already used for so this question depends on two aspects. First one is development, and second one is production. In production, it's kind of an early question. You should like wait a little. Usually, what I'm doing when I need a port for production, I'm going for something above 10,000, and I'm picking one. Second thing is ports. When you are in development, you can mostly do whatever you want, but go for a port above like 1,000, because your computer has service that run on it. So how does it work? So I'm using ANSI, which is well, let's use first curl. So most of you already know curl. And if I'm doing like curl Google, oh yeah, let's. Come. It gives me a bunch of stuff, which is the HTML page. So what curl is doing, it's opening a connection to that DNS, and it's connecting to the port. So here, since it's S, it's port 443. And if I'm doing without the S, the SSL, it's going for the port 80. Actually, it's not entirely true. If we look at what was happening, we should have a redirection in the middle, but I don't see it. But it's not really important here. So how to specify a port? But like 2.80. If I'm going for another one, like let's say I want this one, it freezes. It's not working because curl is trying to connect to that DNS, to that port. So let's remove the left part, this one. How we do that is we find one of the server, here, one of the Google server. So we have this one. And if we do a curl with that IP, we should have the same result. Yeah, we have the same results. We are connected to Google. So the output here is not exactly the same because it's a 301. Since we reach out with that IP, it's telling us, please use use this domain. But like, trust me, we are connected to one of the Google server. So if I'm doing that, same thing, it's freezing because so its vocabulary here is because it's not the Google server is not listening on the port 99. Yep. So what I wanted to show you is let's build like a small web server with Sinatra. Web Sinatra. Yep. Okay. So live coding. Cool. Where is it else? Yeah, so this is Ruby require is equivalent to include in C. And this thing is saying like if I'm receiving yeah, I will remove that something on slash on root slash you return this string. A quick note for coding, yeah, coding. Um, Simple and double quotes, they don't have the same meaning in C, and but it actually depends on the language. Mostly high-level language, they are using simple and double quote for interpolation. So if my so both are for strings, not only characters, because in C simple quote is for characters and double quote is for string. Um, if I will have something with a variable inside, and I have like simple quotes, it will not be interpreted. But if I have like a double quote, you can see the ID it's changing the color. It will replace that variable by the value. So I need to declare it. So it will put I will print put 0. This is your pipe and smoke it. And what is important here is if you are not using like the interpolation, you should use simple codes. Why? Because when you are doing C, you know that how you print stuff like that. You need to do like a if for each, for you scan each character, and when you have like one of the symbol in order to have interpolation, you replace it with the variable. So it means that you are doing some parsing. So if I have a string like this one with double quotes, and I'm not doing any interpolation, my computer and actually, so yes, the computer will still parse each character to make sure that there is no interpolation in it because you're telling him like, oh, he might have one, and this thing can run can make it way slower. So this thing was true like 10 years ago. Now it's less true because my computer are way faster. But it's more a rigor side. If someone else is reading your code and see like each strings with double quote, they will judge you like you're not rigorous. You don't know the difference between simple and double quote. Um, and this is not like the message you want to set because people won't tell you, you're a loser, but they will judge. They will judge you. Cool. So yeah, it was quick note. Now I will do Ruby app. So my server will be started. It started, but there is no printing. Interesting. So it's telling me cannot assign requested address by true, and here I can see the port 3000. So by default, Sinatra, which is one framework, is using 3000. and 3000 is already used inside DoCode by DoCode. I think this port is LSOF. Like that. Yeah, but yeah, okay, so it's not here on my computer in my network. Yeah. So this is the things that are connected on port 80. Well, this is the list of the sockets that are connected on port 80, but they are not really connected on port 80. So I don't know what that match. Anyway, we have something on this port, so we need to change it. Sinatra change port. Set port 80. Still, we want to use port 80. Let's try. Yep, same thing, but this time it's not the same thing. Permission denied for using port 80. So I can't. So let's use another one. 8081. Yeah. So Webbrick, which is a server, it started on port 8081. And let's test it in order to see if it's true. Local host 8081. Boom. I have my string that it was here. And let's check it on another port. It's telling me page connect to localhost port 8082. There is nothing listening on this port. Yeah, next thing I want to cover is with DoCode, you have a DNS, this one, that is bound on the port 8080. So this is a configuration from Kubernetes that we've done. How to do it, it's like 3 config file and like 5 lines each time to open one port. So that's why there is only one that is accessible outside. Yeah. Oh, how to access it, it's like that. And you need to provide web before. So that should work. Maybe it's taking some time, but I will explain what is happening here. So the browser is on port 443 because we're on HTTPS. It's connecting to one. There are multiple layers, but it's connecting to one server, and that server is kind of a middleman. So it's taking input from the port 443 or 80, and is forwarding everything to the port 8080, which is your server. Yeah, I know why. Okay, so I know why it's not working, which means you don't need to put those things behind. Otherwise, what will happen is it will try to connect to the first server, the one that the middle guy, on this port, but this guy is not listening on 8080. So why it's not working now? It's you have another aspect of it, which is the where is it listening to? So here it's only listening on localhost. So when you do that, that works. But if you do something from outside, which is here, it's not listening. So change this. Oops, here we go. So we need to change the bind on 00. So 000, this is a network mask, and it's telling like, oh, listen to everything. And if you want to limit to some area, most of the router on your like local home, they are like one. No, it's not that. It's something like that. So, yep. And if you want to limit it to your home, it will be something like that. But so this is IP related. To open to everything, it's 000. So I will start again the server, and that should work now. I hope so. Yep. So huge. Now I will talk about security, about two things. First thing is when you listen to everything, it means that anybody can connect on it, and you don't want that. um, First thing. Second thing is ports. When you manage your own server, the first thing that you want to change is like SSH ports. All the service that you are kind of using, you want to change them because there are a lot, like tons of scripts out there that are crawling internet in order to find exploits. I will try to show you some. So this is a log of skill. Uh, we will have like a lot of logs, and I will let it run because I'm pretty sure at some point we will get like one attack from someone. Because like it's happening all the time. You start to have, so how to read it, you have like get start on slash. So I'm trying to find one. And you will see like page, index.php or something like that. Most common attack are on WordPress because but there are so many exploits on it, but people are just attacking it. So, yep, you want to change, you don't want to listen to everything, and you don't want to be on the port that script are scanning in order to attack you. Yeah, usually, SSH, I'm changing it like very fast in order to have not 22, but another one. Yep. You have questions?
Yeah, like you mentioned that we're calling on port 80, but there's like a middleman server who redirects calls from port 80 to port 8080, right?
Yep.
And how like is that configured in a file? And if yes, like which file is it, and how could we find it if we needed to get this information?
So you can't. So it's set up inside our infrastructure, by Quasar infrastructure, and it's set up in one of the file. I think actually I can show you. It will be inside do code. I didn't plan for it, so you will need to give me like some seconds in order to find it. I think it's here. Yep. So this is one of them. So here, this one, but I told you that there is multiple middlemen, and this is one of them. This one is just taking 80, 80 to 80, 80. And I think the other one might be here. I know I don't know where I don't find it quickly, but yeah, it's part of our configuration of the infrastructure, and it's really a pain to open like a lot of ports for you guys. I'm sorry about it actually. But yeah, it means that you only have one in order to access from outside. You can use it as HTTP, but you can use it for something else. It's like a socket. it's not like commonly used, you don't use 8080 for HTTP, but if you want to, I don't know, like build ERC server or any type of server, you can listen on 8080 and you will be able to access it from outside. Questions? Yeah, and another thing I can mention here is firewall. And when I'm speaking about firewall, it's not like the one that you have on Windows. No, it's firewall. We have a lot of firewalls on the DevOps part, and firewalls, how you set them, it's you block everything and you only give access to the port that you want or the IP that you want. This is kind of the spirit here. It's you need to block everything, and you will know why you want to open something. And yep, so you have multiple service for firewall. What is important here is you've learned and you are learning a lot of debugging skills. And debugging skills, it's really like to break down everything into single step, etc. I know like most of you here are not interested into DevOps, etc. But one day you will have to do, you will put something into production, and that something is not necessarily web. It can be like a script, a scrapper, or like let's say you want to scrap a lot of data on the internet. Usually it takes some time, and you don't want to do it on your computer because your computer can crash, or you can lose internet, or you can do a lot of things. So we will put that script on the server, and that server will be hosted like somewhere, and you will have to set up by the server, set up the firewall, etc. And it's really the same skills and coding of what we are trying to make you feel. It's small step, like you have here, I told you, we have multiple layers. And if something is wrong, I need to test on each layers. It's like exactly when you have like multiple nested loop or multiple function, you need to test each function and never be like, oh, I don't know what to do. You need to challenge yourself and be like, oh, how can I do something? How can I test that single thing? And this is really like the debugging part. When I'm saying that, I will take an example. You have a web server with database and a cache server, and it's not working. It's not working. It's exactly, I don't know if you worked with designer one day, but when you arrive, you say like, I don't like it. It's not helpful. what doesn't work? You need to identify what doesn't work. So we already have 3 services, but let's test them like one by one. Like test the cache server. Does it work? Can I connect to it? How to connect to it? The database. Can we connect to the database? Does it work? Yes, no. And the web server, does it work if I'm connecting to it? So like this is the beginning of troubleshooting. Cool. Questions? No questions? Cool. Yep. Stuff about us. Yeah, DoCode is running on 3000. So this port cannot be used on the computer. One question, so I'm saying that now, but I will ask it again, is for people who want to do like season 2 and more network socket stuff, the good question is how to find a port that is not used. You have a function, a C function, a C Unix function, which is bind. And how you bind to a port, you send, it's an integer, you send that parameter. Like I want you to bind on 8080, you call function bind 8080. But if I don't care about the port and I just want the first free available, you do bind 0. I'm saying that because it's very often you have multiple sockets connected to you open the first socket in order to establish a connection on a non-port, but you will need more connection. So you open multiple sockets, and those you don't need to have like a specific port, and it's mostly how like BitTorrent is working. Um, and I remember reading the source code. I don't know what exactly, but it was something famous like Spark or something like that. And inside the code, they were using a loop in order to test all the different ports from from 1 to 65,000, which is the limit. And they were testing one by one until one was free. And I remember posting on like pull request. I changed that loop by buying 0, and the guy told me like no, it doesn't work like that because bind take an integer. And I was like, yeah, but integer, they can be 0 and negative. So we argue so much time, and I was like, hey, just try it, and it works. It passed all the tests, etc. So I feel understanding what is behind, all the wrapper and all the function make you better, because when you don't challenge yourself, I don't know who said that this morning, but coding in a high level language, what I made the mistake before. It's coding, you need to go fast and deliver something, deliver a job, but you're not really thinking what is it doing behind. And I feel you kind of lose, sense of what is happening. And the day that you will have to debug, you're like, oh, that's a black box and I don't know what is inside. And I feel that you should ask yourself, like, oh, okay, I'm using like Ruby on Rails. How is it the connection between all the different view? How does it work actually? And if I had to code it myself, how would I do it? And I feel that's a very good step, because by one day, you will have to put your hands, into the engine, and you will learn a lot, because you already move a step by doing your own architecture here. Okay, anyway, I'm talking too much. I think it's time. If nobody has more questions, just shoot me a message. Hope everybody is doing good. Stay safe, and yeah. See you later.
Thank you. Bye.